Hey everyone, welcome to an artistic review of Liches. If you hear a smoke detector chirping in the background, it means that I'm in hell. Anyway, we're just going to be doing a little artistic review of all the different Lich arts throughout the D&D editions, and kind of critiquing the various character designs as we see them. Now this is a first edition Lich. As you can see, this is the initial design we were working with. We got a classic kind of skeleton king look, complete with a skeleton face and some skeleton hands. So there it goes. Now, interesting crown design here. You know, we've got some almost spear points with a little gem inside, kind of like a Death Knight from Warcraft 1, if you will. Obviously, this is the setting that they were all copied from, because all fantasy is inherently derivative. D&D comes from Tolkien, which comes from mythology, which comes from human stupid idiot brains, because they saw a person who didn't fit the norm and they decided they needed to make up a story about them. Anyway, not much to say about this one. He looks a little bit emotionally constipated, but there's nothing wrong with that. He's kind of scarily waving towards the camera in a way that suggests he's a little bit shy, but he wants you to know that he's still willing to socialize, and he's still a pretty cool guy on the inside. After all, everyone's a skeleton on the inside, and if you're not, you are an aspiring skeleton, because that's what you'll be someday. Anyway, that's the first edition Lich. Let's check out the second edition. This one can't possibly be worse than the first, can it? Oh no. Interesting. What do we have here? So, this is a Lich. This is the most powerful of all the undead, a creature that retains its consciousness and has a phylactery to resurrect itself. And this is the art direction they chose to go with it. Now, I'm immediately seeing a few glaring flaws. First off, what the hell is this pose that we are beholding with our eyes? This is... I mean, is he doing the Thriller? Is he trying to dance? Like, he looks so deeply bad at standing, which you would not want a Lich to be. Also, I'm noticing almost digitigrade legs happening at the bottom here, as if he's some kind of non-humanoid bipedal creature, which is a little bit strange because it doesn't seem to be giving that implication. It seems to be some kind of human. Maybe a simian, a primate of some variety? I'm not sure. Let's see here. He's got a little, like, kind of golden bangles and crotch skull, which is always something that you like to see. I think to improve this design, we could maybe get rid of the male pattern baldness and replace it with a nice widow's peak. Not that I have anything against bald people, it just makes me insecure to look at. Okay, we're going to be moving on to the third edition Lich, and this is where things are starting to finally look up, you know? Like, the first two art editions, you know, it's a little bit amateur, a little bit unpolished, and there's nothing wrong with that. I do appreciate a good bit of unpolished art. I mean, I think fantasy is actually more interesting when you allow more people with different kind of perspectives to really get in there and do things. Now, let's see. My apologies, I should actually edit this part out, but I am fucking lazy. Okay, now we're cooking with gas fire. Sorry, just need to resize this. I really should have prepared this in advance. This is my first time. Apologies. Wow, look at this man's. Okay, see now... Ooh. Well, you know, at first glance, it actually does look like quite a nice design. However, there are some interesting choices that they decided to make. Let's take a look at this face. I don't know if that's what faces are supposed to look at. It seems like the jaw is kind of permanently hanging out like, "Oh, hello, it's me, Mr. Lich. Yeah, I've got a big hanging teethsies." And, you know, the dental insurance for these people, like, they make a phylactery, which is basically like life insurance. But dental, I guess they don't cover that in Evil Villain Land. He's wearing some kind of crown, which looks like it was made by highway fencing. Some nondescript runes. We got a necklace that's also a guillotine. A staff that has a bird on it, which is something that we always like to see. And of course, for the sake of all of you know who you are, the feet are plainly visible. Fun fact, in the Roald Dahl Witches movie, the way that you could detect a witch is by looking at their feet, and if their toes are missing, or little nubsies things, that means that they're a witch. And anyway, a witch is kind of like being a lich. But if you're a son of a witch, that means you might be a son of a lich, which means I don't know where I'm going with this joke. Let's move on. Okay, that was 3rd edition. Now let's move on to 4th edition. 4E, the big upgrade, you might say, when things got real. This is when Thaco or something was happening? I don't really actually know. I don't really care. We're not here to care about mechanics. We're here to care about art. Let's see. Oh my goodness. What is going on with this guy? Okay. So, immediately we can notice that things seem to be a great deal more colorful than the previous editions. We're seeing some like nice crimson reds. He's got a bit of a smile going on. He's like, hey, I'm not like the other Liches. I'm kind of a cool guy, you know? I'm hip, I'm cool. I got a freaky ass hand, and I got he's got the little capey things, which we always like to see. I love a good capey thing. He's kind of conjuring magic, which, as we can see, the PNG or the JPEG didn't seem to convey it very well. As it looks like, well, it looks like a toilet bowl swirling into his hand, but that's neither here nor there. We see a lovely framing of the crotch with some handles, just in case you are into that sort of thing. After all, Liches are quite popular these days. There's no need to sugarcoat it. And yeah, just an overall kind of skeleton overlord design. You know, very classical, very nice to see. And, you know, I think this is kind of where the pinnacle is, because after 4th edition, things get a little bit dicey. And I'm not sure if I agree with the direction they chose to go with Liches, at least for the official art. That is on the wiki. Alright, and here is finally 5th edition. Actually, not finally. There's one more, but no one plays that one, so we don't need to worry about that. 5th edition Lich. Okay, so first off, we can see that the male pattern baldness finally took its toll and this man is fully bald, which is perfectly acceptable, because he is also decomposing. We see a bit of ribcage action going on, and it's kind of the desiccated flesh that's melting off from the hinges almost, which, you know, fair enough. His robe also appears to be rotting too. It's kind of tattered. Like, this man, you know, he was once a part of the bourgeoisie, but he seems to have fallen on hard times, and he's not very happy about it, given the fact that he's screaming, there's a little red gems in my head, why is this happening? Oh no, and there's a mark kind of like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. Oh, what a terrible thing to happen. Yes, deeply tragic. Very crimson, very colorful in this edition. You know, obviously, as technology improves, you can kind of increase the colorfulness of any given art and design, and that's always lovely to see. But anyway, let's move on to, I guess whatever is after 5-point edition. I wasn't actually aware there was anything, but according to the Wikipedia, there is, and as we all know, that's a perfectly valid source. Okay, this is pretty interesting. I'm liking what I'm seeing here on this Lich. Kind of a, you thought I was dead, but I came back because I have 9 Horcruxes. And I do say Horcruxes because there's a bit of a Voldemort vibe going on, at least, you know, with kind of the facial structure here. Dental care has improved slightly, so that's nice to see. And obviously now there's some minions. You can see the kind of upscaled. Oh, there it is again. Some kind of cool tattering with little necromantic wafts of energy kind of coming out, and obviously they're doing some kind of interesting ritual, and the souls of the damned are flowing throughout the place, and, you know, they're just having a good time, which is, you know, when you're a Lich, that's all you can really ask for. I mean, you work your whole life, 9 to 5, with horrible bosses and undead overlords, and you just want to kind of, you know, start your own small business, where you get to really raise people's spirits, and make them feel alive again, at least for the undead. Anyway, this was an artistic review of Liches. Let me know what you would like me to artistically review next. I will probably be a lot meaner next time, so be prepared for that. Alright, thanks for watching.